The Pioneer Keystone Nationals, next on TNN Motorsports.
We do more in 4 seconds than some people do all day.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Opryland.
Now with over 18,000 square feet of warehouse space, Pioneer is one of the largest truck and trailer parts and accessories warehouses in New England. Keep your fleet rolling with quality running gear components and your downtime to a minimum with truck and trailer air brake parts from our large inventory. Pioneer also carries the complete line of Kendall oils and lubricants, including greases and hydraulic fluids. Pioneer heavy-duty parts, Route 6 Seekonk, Mass. Pioneer stocks parts, so you don't have to.
Inside Track, New England's largest and most complete racing collectible store, offers an extensive selection of die-cast collectibles featuring Revell, Ertl, Action, and Racing Champion. We also carry Hot Wheels, American Muscle, and a full selection of scale model kits. At Inside Track, you'll find racing magazines, newspapers, and a full line of official shirts, hats, and jackets. We also have a complete selection of race tape rentals. Inside Track, if we can't find it, it's not made.
The following is a special presentation of TNN Motorsports. Corey McClanahan is an intense race driver, and he loves the thrill of the chase. On the strength of 5 consecutive final run appearances, the McDonald's driver has elbowed his way past Joe Amato and onto the heels of points leader Gary Scelzi as we hit the stretch run of the 1997 season. Corey McClanahan has experience being the hunter here at Maple Grove. Recall back in 1992 with his own team. Had he gone 1 round further during eliminations, he would have ultimately been the Winston champion rather than Joe Amato. But things get interesting early here today. If Corey Mack can beat Bob Vandergriff Jr. in round 1, he gets an early shot at Gary Scelzi. Unless, of course, Joe Amato hasn't already taken care of Scelzi, because that's how they fare out.
When John Force ended a 6-month, 12-event win drought last month at Brainerd, everyone figured the champ was back on track to stay. But then tire smoke in the semis at the U.S. Nationals, coupled with Whit Bazemore's 4th win, finds the funny car Winston points chase the tightest of all the pro categories with just 6 races left on the schedule. After trailing John Force by 295 points, Whit Bazemore has won 4 of the last 8 national events. Had the season started in Topeka, he would own more than a 1-race lead over his Castrol counterpart. He does trail by 133, but is charging hard to the front. He says he's still got a great shot at his first Winston championship. With 6 rounds to go, Whit needs to be nearly perfect to master his own destiny.
Kurt Johnson is on a tear. 2 weeks ago, he won his 2nd U.S. Nationals, and he probably would be neck and neck with Jim Yates for the Winston title if he didn't have to play second fiddle to his father. The Johnsons are less than a round apart in points, but until they decide who has the best shot at success, Yates can cruise back to Pomona.
And that cruising will be interesting. WJ and KJ on the same side of the ladder. Yates on the other side. It could be put up or shut up here at the Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals 13th running, Maple Grove Raceway, just outside of Reading, Pennsylvania. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Fry, and welcome to this early edition of the live finals coverage from Maple Grove Raceway. Because everything went so swimmingly up there at Loudon, New Hampshire, we get an extra 30 minutes. And if you were with us earlier this morning for our live NHRA Today show, well, maybe turnabout is fair play. We had 60 minutes this morning and only got a chance to show you about 3 runs. We have got semifinals coming up, live finals this afternoon. By the time we leave here at Maple Grove, we might find out who's got a leg up on those great Winston championships. We got some pretty hot topics to talk about here today. First of all, got a new look for Kenny Bernstein. He's got a beard, and it's not Frank Bradley. Chuck Etchels continues to do wonderful things here in the trees of Maple Grove. He's the #1 qualifier, and he loves running here in Pennsylvania. And we got a couple of NBA stars here, and I'll tell you who it's not. It is not Sven Nader, nor is it Darryl Dawkins. You'll find out who it is a little bit later on in the program. We have a whole pile of cash up for grabs here. You want to add them up? We're going to get into the 7 digits, 600,000 plus in cash. Bonus awards, contingencies. You add the figures, $1.5 million plus the bragging rights, and maybe, just maybe, the keys to the 1997 Winston Championship. Let's start out with Top Fuel and take a look at how they qualified In Friday and Saturday qualifying in Top Fuel, Scott Coletta hosted his first #1 qualifying position of the year here at Maple Grove in front of this capacity crowd. He did a marvelous job. Jim Head impressive after Indy. Team Winston checks in at #3, one of Dixon's better qualifying efforts. Kenny whipped the beard, Sarver without it. Shelley rounds out the top half. The other side is headed up by Kristen Powell and includes the Jersey's entry of Bob Vandergrift Jr., former Maple Grove finalist Pat Dakin, only a #14 effort for Joe Amato. Rhonda Hartman qualifies again, and Tony Schumacher rides shotgun on your field. This is the way they would pair up, #1 against #16. Tough draw for Tony Schumacher. The females, #8 and 9, they will duke it out, and Kenny Bernstein tries to see what he can do with Pat Dakin, see if he can take his big red car to back-to-back wins here at the Grove. Jim Head and Rhonda Hartman, they met out at Indianapolis. There's the matchup, #3 and #14, Selzy and Amato. Corey Mack lurking in the shadows. We're going to take a look at some of the round 1 highlights from Top Fuel Eliminator from earlier today here at the Pioneer Electronics Keystone National. Bob Vandergrift Jr., a great golfer, not a bad drag racer. The Jersey's active wear machine. Been to a final one time this year. He's been #1 qualifier once this year. He's got Corey Mack. He would go out once this year. At the hands of Corey Mack in round 1. Hey, Corey, the other guy, gave it his best shot.
You know, Bobby did it all. He steep stage on me, and I saw it, and I said, okay, be calm, be calm. Don't throw it away, but we're in a good position right now. We'll just try to go one by one.
One by one, because he would sit and wait and watch this matchup between Joe Amato and Gary Selzy. Team Winston has been in the lead since the start of the season, except for one race. When Amato got by him right here, and Joe Amato gets the win. It wasn't pretty, but it got him to round 2.
Joe Amato in November, when we look back on this season, this particular round may be well remembered.
Yeah, Steve, you know, I praise the Lord, you know, he gave us a car that went down that track. Nobody was going down there, and this may be one that means something toward the end for this Winston World Championship. All we can do is just go one round at a time.
Hey, praise the Lord. Pass the ammunition. We'll take a look at it again from Gary Selzy's point of view. Not a good point of view.
Gary Selzy, I know who you're going to be rooting for in round #2, right? You're a big Joe Amato fan suddenly?
I'm going to go put one of his shirts on here shortly. You know, who knows? This is going to be a heck of a race for this championship.
It's a tough loss, sure.
You know what? I mean, what are we going to do? It's tough, and it just shows you how close everything is.
Gary Selzy, philosophical, but I can guarantee you, not happy. Coming off his Indy Championship, the close call communications phone card. On the far side, that is Jim Head. Near lane, Rhonda Hartman. These two went at it in the semis at Indy. It wound up just like this, and for the first time in 12 years, Jim Head has won 5 rounds in a row. Way to go, Jim. He'd like to put 2 wins back-to-back on the board. This is Pat Dakin. Went to the finals here a couple of years ago. On the far side, it's the Bud King. The new look, Bud King. Tell you more about that in just a little bit. You're on board. Kenny's out in front for the entire quarter mile, and Kenny Bernstein gets the win. And hey, Kenny did a pretty nice job driving the Bud King there.
Kenny, if it wasn't for the driver, yourself, pedaling this car, we might not be talking. It could have got away from you.
Well, thank you. I just, well, Lee had me ready for it, just as Dale would, obviously, that it was going to be suspect out there. And I just got lucky I ain't caught it, and, hey, these guys run good. It's a tough racetrack today for the Bud King, and everybody out there, believe me.
This is the way the ladder looked. Scott Coletta, Shelley advanced over Kristen Powell. Dixon advanced. He would take on Big Red in round #2. While over on the other side of the ladder, it would be Mike Dunn in the Mopar car, who would get the Indy champ, Joe Amato and Corey Mack. Hey, that one ought to be a lot of fun. After the opening round, Steve Evans had a chance to go down there in the pit area. Gives us a little update on the Top Fuel Wars.
So, Gary Selzy and team owner Alan Johnson are out round 1. They're all done, right? No. Alan Johnson is never done trying to beat you. He now moves over to the Jim Head camp. If he can help his friend Jim get past Mike Dunn in the second round, then Head will go head-to-head against Corey Mack or Joe Amato. And as far as Alan is concerned, they both need to be beaten as soon as possible. Hey, it worked at Indy, didn't it?
Hey, 2 heads are better than 1, especially when one of the heads isn't, because it's a Johnson. Don't go with me on this. Hey, the great crowd waiting to see all the finals coming up. We hope you are too. TNN's exclusive live coverage of the 13th annual Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals is brought to you by Mopar, Chrysler Corporation parts, and the Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers who sell and install them. We've got funny cars coming up next.
Team Mopar. Parts for Pro Stock and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar. Team Mopar. Parts for top fuel dragsters and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar.
Start your engine. Want to get close to the action? No, closer to the action. No, we mean really close to the action. Now's your chance to get up close and personal with live Winston Cup racing at the Duraloop 500, presented by Kmart. Just stop by any Kmart store and look for the Duraloop display and enter to win. And while you're at it, check out the great value on the Duraloop oil change kit on sale at all Kmart stores.
Recently, KFC introduced a revolutionary new sandwich, the Twister. It's like a meal all wrapped up and ready to go. No wonder the only thing more popular is the guy who makes them. Now get a Bacon Ranch Twister with wedges in this month's $2.99 to-go meal.
The AT&T one-rate plan has made long-distance prices simple. Whoa. Calls from home, a one-low rate to anybody in America anytime.
What about those 10321 ads that say I could save big over AT&T?
Most calls would cost less with AT&T one-rate.
Cost less?
That's right.
Feels so huge.
Hey, don't beat yourself up.
What about the big savings with 10321?
Forget it if your calls aren't over 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
He's taking it really bad.
No restrictions, no games. The AT&T one-rate plan.
As quick as they are behind the wheel, NHRA stars are even quicker with a pan.
Hey, who do we want? Say, Corey! Why? Because he drives for who? McDonald's.
Probably the kids are my favorite. I think with McDonald's especially, we do more Happy Meal kids than we do anything else.
Without the fans there, I haven't got a job. And so I, truly appreciate them wanting autographs, and I'll, delegate as much of my time as I can possibly do.
Who wants John Force's autograph?
I'm going to frame it and put it on my wall.
Oh, he's the best. I got to meet him at Daytona Airport, got my picture taken with him. I needed to get it signed.
It's amazing that people just like to touch you. Why would anybody want to touch me? Wore out old man. But they do.
As you can see and read, autographs are a sign of the times.
He might be old. I'm not sure about the poor. We're at Maple Grove Raceway, home of the Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals. Maple Grove is just outside of Philadelphia, just across the river from Pensacola, New Jersey, which is the home of Bishop Eustace Prep, home of the new Miss America. And me. I graduated from there, too. I don't get to work that in very often, folks, so go with me on this. Hey, let's take a look at funny car qualifying here as the folks are sitting back and getting ready for the finals. In funny car qualifying, Chuck Etchels was the #1 man. He ran 498, top spot for the third time this year. And then it was the champ, the wannabe, and the kid. That's Force. That's Scusa. And Bazemore all in there also. There you see Randy Anderson winds up the top 8. On the second half of the field, it's the school teachers. Speaking of schools, Gary Densham in the #9 spot. Jim Epler in the Paul Smith Easy Care car. 86 and 87 champ. Mark Oswald's there. Pioneer entry, Tom Hoover. Tony Pedregon rounds out the top 16. The way they would match up, Etchels and Pedregon, they can see some good matchups. Scoos and Worsham, a couple of young kids that really need to put one in the win column here. And Dean Scoos has been wowing them with the burnouts. Over on the other side of the ladder, you're going to see that old guy that everybody likes to touch. John Force against Wyatt Radke, new look car. Epler and Katz, good matchups. Freddie Neely and the Rex Nix, Wayne Dupuis car against Cruz Pedregon. And boy, does Big Red need to win one of these puppies. We'll find out how he did in round #1. It would be Cruz Pedregon and the McDonald's car taking on Freddie Neely. Now, Rex Nix owns the car. Wayne Dupuis tunes it. They almost hit the wall out at Indianapolis in round #1. They vowed not to let that happen again here. It didn't. But they still are. but that's a nice new team, and Freddie had qualified well. The winner is Cruz Pedregon, and he would advance to the next round. Hey, it was ugly, but a win is a win. There's Wyatt Radke, the brand-new Mirage race car. That is an old Del Worsham machine. He would take on John Force, steaming after the way that he left Indianapolis, limping, beaten, battered, molded, spindled, stapled, mutilated. But right here, he did all of the above to Wyatt Radke with a 5 flat. Nice run, John.
Whoever coined the phrase right down Broadway might have been talking about that run. It couldn't have been much better than that at 5 flat.
Yeah, we were really nervous, and Cole, I said on the radio, boy, you told me you pulled her back. She sounded grizzly on the burnout. I always get up when Tony gets beat. It really, seeing that other Castle car go out, it's aggravating. It gets my adrenaline up. Probably left on time for once.
And Whit Bazemore was right behind you watching every move.
He's a smart boy then.
Hey, who coined that phrase? I'll tell you, it was a Bishop Eustace prep grad, and it wasn't the new Miss America. Speaking of Whit, Team Winston, right here, coming off Indy. Pioneer Art of Entertainment. They got their woofers. They got their tweeters. They got their new DVD machines. They would not have enough power to take out Whit Bazemore. He gets the win, and John Force kind of stayed around to see how this baby played out.
Bazemore goes one more round.
Well, he's pedaling her out there. That was a good old racer. I'd like to see that from up front, but got to go back to work now, Steve.
Got to go back to the pit area and let everybody touch him. Why would they want to touch him?
What all that tire smoke has cost you lane choice against Pedregon in the next round. You need to beat him to maybe get a shot at Force in the semis.
Yeah, that's a problem. You know, I guess we were just a little too aggressive up there. It's awfully hard to tune these cars for these conditions. I don't know what happened to Tom. Obviously, he's not as aggressive as we are, because we were definitely beatable.
Yeah, got a little lucky, Whit, and that doesn't hurt. Chuck Etchells, the Kendall Super Winch car in the far lane. He won this car in the past. Tony Pedregon just limped in at number 16. Would he limp by Chuck Etchells? I don't think so, Tim. As in Richards. Great job. 498 in qualifying, 512 here, 303's running well.
In case you've forgotten why you hired Tim Richards, how about a 512 at 303 on a track nobody else can even go down?
That's pretty awesome, isn't it? No, I never forgot why I hired a general. I mean, we're more than just, boss and worker. I mean, we're friends as well, and, we're proud of our whole Kendall team.
Huge confidence builder.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Maybe I'll drive better.
Etchells would advance to take on Randy Anderson. Mark Oswald against the Burnouts. Capital of the world, Dean Scusa, the Matco Tools machine, as they would win the round number 2. And on the other side, there's that John Force against Jim Epler, who advanced when Ron Katz had all kinds of problems. Cruz and Whit. That's a pretty big-time matchup in the next round. Hey, if today's your birthday, you're sharing it with a lot of folks right here. The old racetrack. Isn't that right, Dave Reed?
To say Randy Anderson is racing for a cause wouldn't be too far off. After all, they won 3 times earlier this season, but since Topeka, they haven't gone past round number 2. The rest of it might have something to do with this man, Larry Frazier. After all, it is his 60th birthday today, and what better birthday present to give a crew chief than a few round wins? Will the gift keep on giving round after round? Well, they've got a tough matchup in round number 2 as they get set to race. Chuck Etchells, the number 1 qualifier.
Quick, who's older today? Larry Frazier, Cindy Harmon, or Jeff Kelly, who worked for us here at Diamond P? I know the answer. If I tell, it'll probably be on the last show. Hey, don't forget, coming up Friday night, the American Speed Association kicks off another big weekend of racing on TNN. Check out the Pontiac Excitement 300 live from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We'll drop the green flag Friday night at 8 right here on TNN Motorsports. We're going to find out how the Johnson guys did. How's that Yates boy doing? How about those NBA stars? Could they slam dunk their way into the next round? We'll find out in a minute.
In Denton, Texas, a lot of folks who work on their cars go to AutoZone because they know they're going to find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and good people like Tom Robinson. You see, Tom's the kind of guy who really likes to help folks out. And since he's been around cars most all his life, he knows his parts, too. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town, but when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Tom, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
When you buy a new Honda 4Trax 300, 300 4x4, or the rugged Foreman 400, you can see something you just won't see on any other ATV. Your choice of 7.9% APR financing and no down payment. or a pair of incredible German precision optic Steiner binoculars. Now you can see why Honda ATVs are the best on earth.
Dick, the creator of Miller Lite Advertising, has great news for all football fans. This year, Miller Lite is an official beer sponsor of the NFL. That means that this season will be better than last season. Remember when you were trying to watch a game, but there was that terrible glare? Well, that's not going to happen this year. Dick says, if you like that, you haven't seen anything yet. Stay tuned.
He doesn't really talk about his hair, but I know he thinks about it. That's why he uses Pantene Pro V. The Pro Vitamin formula penetrates, improving hair, keeping it looking really healthy, shiny, strong. Pantene Pro V, for hair so healthy it shines.
Split-fire spark plugs are performance.
With Split-Fire, it's money-back guaranteed performance. And guaranteed performance has made Split-Fire a winner around the world. Now we're ready for you with the biggest savings ever. Hurry, this pricing ends soon.
In racing, the engine is everything.
What?
It's the driver. A driver will never see a finish line without a great engine.
The greatest engine will never see a victory lap without a great driver.
At least they agree on Haviland Formula 3 motor oil, the same oil you can buy right off the shelf. And also try Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze.
The engine's the first thing with the finish line.
Not in Indy cars.
Two-time Winston champion Darrell Alderman has fond memories of the Keystone Nationals, for it was at this event 7 years ago that he accelerated his charge toward his first title. It also was a weekend of extremely good fortune, as #1 qualifier Alderman was eliminated in the second round by the hole-shot antics of Ricky Smith. But when the STP Pontiac came up light at the scales, Darrell was reinstated, and he never looked back. Bob Glidden's red light in the nighttime final guaranteed the Wayne County Dodge the valuable Winston points he needed, although the Daytona fell shy of the hoped-for national record. A similar scene was played out by Darrell and his Dodge 3 years later, as the Kentuckian put his Mopar Avenger on the pole, ripped through the pack, and then set down his closest championship challenger, Warren Johnson, with the quickest time of the event in the final. This weekend marks the first time Darrell has been back to Reading since that triumph.
You gotta love drag racing here on TNN. I'll give you an irony. When Darrell Alderman won that race in '94, he was low ET at 7:02. He ran 7:02 this weekend. You know what it got him? Nothing. Did not qualify. Well, that's just the luck of the draw. Great field of pro stock cars were on hand. We had a bump of 7:02. Jim Yates ran 6:94 last year. Did it again here. WJ right behind them, both in qualifying and the points. Congrats to Mike Bell and George Monell for their efforts. And I'm sure Kurt's not happy being number 6. Second half of the field includes New Jersey's own Frank Iaconio, who ran 2 6-second runs here in Barry Grant's car. Steve Schmidt's a disappointing 11th. Tom Hammonds and Larry Nance out of the NBA and into the pro stock field. Ron Krischer again in there at a 7:01. Way to go, boys. Great qualifying effort. 7.01. Pretty quick field. Krischer, for his efforts, gets the #1 qualifier. There's Edwards and Frank Iaconio out of New Jersey. And Tommy Hammonds qualified lucky number 13. How about Grant Lewis? Out of the sportsman ranks, he goes in to round 1 of Pro Stock. Mark Osborne's back at the old Jerry Ekman car. Bruce Allen in the Slick 50 car. Nance and Bell, that's a good matchup. KJ and Schmidt. Steve Schmidt would love to punch out some of those Johnson family members. He'll get his chance here today. They're both on the same side of the ladder. Well, let's take a look at round #1 in Pro Stock competition. Near lane, Mike Thomas. That's the gum-out machine. Bruce Allen, the Slick 50 race car on the far side out of the Rear and Morrison stables. David Rear, Buddy Morrison, and still our best wishes to Buddy Morrison, still recuperating. Love to see him back at the racetrack soon. I know who we will see back at the racetrack soon. Bruce Allen. He's coming back in to round #2 after he gets the win at 7:01 over a 7:04.
Bruce, a great 7:01, but in the other lane, he did exactly the right thing. If you get sideways on this racetrack, you
get off the gas and just take your medicine and go home and wait. You'll have a car for the next race. It's a little bumpy out here anyway, and then if it's a little bit slippery, you're in trouble.
Thanks.
Sounds like a fill-in-the-blank test like we used to have out there at Old Bishop Eustace. Here we go. Steve Schmidt near lane. AC Delco car. Kurt Johnson. 8 rounds in a row. He hasn't lost. 1 Brainerd. 1 Indy. Could he win here at Maple Grove? Steve Schmidt gave him a run in that opening round, but KJ just a little too much. Race car gets the win. 6.96. Punched out Steve Schmidt's trailing 7 flat.
Well, Kurt, you've got the car to have an impact on the Winston point standings. You'd like a shot at that.
I hope so, Steve. We're 160 points behind Jimmy Yates and just a round or 2 behind Dad. But, the McDonald's guys, they're not going to give up, and the AC Delco Pontiac guys, they're not going to give up either. So we're going to give them heck the rest of the year.
Bet you'd like a 696, huh?
96, real good. We missed yesterday a little bit. We had some problems and just didn't get down the track, qualified number 6 spot. But 96, that's low right now. We'll take it.
Hope he's allowed to win if he can.
If he can, we will find out. Here's Dad in the Goodwrench Service Plus Pontiac, number 2 qualifier. He had been number 1 7 times, 13 times this year. He has been the fastest car in the class. The last couple of races, he's had trouble getting out of his own way. Right here, he gets the win, 696, 197 to punch out. Mark Osborne, WJ goes on.
Kurt 696, WJ 696. That's what you look for with a 2-car team.
Well, that's what you're trying to look for. Unfortunately, we didn't do it during qualifying, but, it's the rounds that we need to win is what we need to do. And if we can keep this up, maybe things will look good by the end of the year.
How critical is lane choice today?
It may not be all that bad. We ran about the same in both lanes. They're both a little bit bumpy. It's just a matter of making the right setup is probably the biggest thing for each lane because they have little different characteristics.
But you always like to have it.
Oh, yeah.
I said, oh, yeah, you always like to have it. Hey, it's Jim Yates, your number 1 qualifier. He was out somewhere with the Mars Rover. That's how far in front of everybody he was. 694 for number 1 qualifying effort. Ron Krischer in the near lanes had a wonderful season, but it would come to a short end here at the Grove. McDonald, Yates, 696. Warren, 696. Kurt, 696. Everybody's going 696s. What are the odds?
Hi, Jim. I think the clocks are stuck on 696 for at least 3 cars here.
Well, we made a little move out there in the middle on that run. The track was a little bit slicker than we'd expected. The sun broke out at the last minute. We didn't have time to get in the can and change clutch around. But I'm going to keep that run. Any win is worth keeping around here. Right now this points chase is so tight. We're just trying to get every round we can get.
And he loves this place.
For one of the very few times this year, there were no upsets. All top 8 qualifiers advanced. Yates gets Edwards. George Barnell goes against the resurgent Larry Morgan in the Bestest car. He is running very well. It'll be WJ against Bruce Allen. KJ goes off against the Bell Boys. And that Carrier heating and air conditioning car, and that puppy can run. Hey, how about those NBA boys? David Reef probably doesn't even know who Sven Nader is. Yo, David.
For the first time ever in pro stock racing, we've got 2 NBA players in the field at the same time, both Larry Nance and Tom Hammonds. Unfortunately for Larry, Mike Bell runs a 699. You approach the wall, have to get out of it. You're done for the day. For Tom Hammonds, that pesky red light against George Varno means he's done today, but the learning curve continues. What's next for these guys? Hey, throw some money at him. He'll be at the next national event. For him, he's testing the free agent market. He'll be in training camp in October. Good job, though, guys. Nicely done. You know something else? These guys are tall, and you can see a lot from up here. Unbelievable.
Hey, later on today, if we have time, we're going to show the one-on-one matchup where I took out both Larry Nance and Tom Hammonds back-to-back. I hope we get a chance to work that in. Hey, coming up in a couple of weeks here on TNN Motorsports, the same NHRA drivers travel to Heartland Park, Topeka for the Sears Craftsman Nationals. Tune in Sunday, September 28th at 5:30 Eastern, right here on the leader, TNN Motorsports. I did a lot of jump shooting in that thing, by the way. I didn't drive a lot. A little bit of Did You Know here, just like back at Bishop Eustace. How about that? The old electronic shifter. I'm going to explain that to you later on. No, I'm not. I lied.
good enough to go on our hood, imagine what it can do under yours. Big A, America's Parts Pros.
Sail with the Winston Cup Stars December 8th through 12th from the NASCAR Family Cruise. Enjoy NASCAR festivities, parties, and activities, plus stops in Key West and Cozumel. Call now for 5 days and 4 nights on the NCL cruise ship Leeward, leaving Miami December 8th.
In drag racing, somebody's got to win, and somebody's got to lose. There's nothing I like better than beating my brother, unless it's beating my boss.
I've hired my own assassin.
And you thought they only race for the money.
CMT. Everyone wishes they had a friend who knows a little something about cars. At My Napa Auto Parts store in Cranston, we'll get you the answers you need and help you find the right part.
Get a free Napa racing hat and cards when you buy a NASCAR Select battery. Receive a mail-in rebate on bright light headlights or a free Napa Gold filter with purchase of Valvoline Durablend.
My name is Bobby Nelson, and the rule in My Napa store is novice or professional. We're here to help.
Napa Cranston. Come see us at 599 Reservoir Avenue.
It's the end of an era. The last of these classically designed Lincoln Town Cars are rolling off the assembly line, the most popular in history. If you've always dreamed of owning a town car, now's the time, because we've ordered extra shipments and created a special value. A new Lincoln Town Car for only $29,999. You probably will never see a price this low on Lincolns again, and you'll never see a Lincoln look like this again. It's the end of an era at Pasco Lincoln Mercury, where you will be satisfied.
Joe Amato lives in northeast Pennsylvania and considers Maple Grove Raceway his home track. But in his case, home is where the hurt is. Joe has never won here in 12 years of trying. Now pick a way to experience heartbreak at a race, and it's happened to Joe. A red light gift to a broken and crawling Gary Ormsby in 1987. A messy divorce from longtime crew chief Tim Richards, and an early round defeat in 92. A blown engine, blown tire, centerline crossing fiasco against the tire-smoking Kenny Bernstein in the first frame in 94. Even the round wins have been ugly. A quarter-mile tire-smoking affair against Jim Head in 1988. Another against the wheel-standing Kenny Bernstein 3 years later, where both cars tried to rewrite the laws of physics. And just last year, there was a round one boomer alongside Pat Aiken. Now, wouldn't it be ironic if drag racing's most superstitious driver could finally win in his backyard on his 13th try? Oh, irony of ironies, tristodectophobia. I can say it, I can't spell it. 13th Annual Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals. And for those of you that are just joining us, we want to remind you that we got a head start here because Jeff Gordon kind of lapped the field up there at the CMT 300 up in Loudon. We got on a little bit early, so we've gone through our first round package highlights. We'll get a chance to bring you up to date if you missed that round one stuff before we move in to our live finals coming up this afternoon. But we appreciate you joining us, and don't forget, of course, later on this evening, you get a chance on race day to watch everything that went on this weekend in the world of motorsports. Get up to the minute highlights, interviews, and more tonight, right after our race. It's race day on TNN Motorsports. Now we're going to fast forward into round number 2 of Top Fuel highlights and see how your favorites did and if they advanced, and we'll find out if Tristan the next advance into round number 2. Well, it would be the Bud King as he gets set with new crew chief Lee Beard. Guess they couldn't find any red pants his size. It would be the Miller Lite MBNA car of Larry Dixon on the near side of the racetrack. And it's going to be Kenny Bernstein. What a wonderful job he did as he gets the win. He got to talk to Steve Evans, and a 489 ain't bad, KB.
Appeared, Kenny, you were able to drive without lifting the entire quarter mile.
Yeah, that time it was smooth earlier, and actually we saw a while ago on the tape that we were okay. I probably didn't have to lift, but we were so gun-shy up there we wanted to make sure.
It's dropping a cylinder. Pick that up. You might have a piece you could play with there.
I think we will. That just happened because we ran it out there a long way, got a lot of wheel speed up before we pulled on the motor. Bud King will be in there, I hope. We're doing as best we can.
No, we've had guys mention guns, ammunition, load them up, don't surrender. Sounds like a war. Well, it is. Mike Dunn, the Mopar machine of Darrell Gwynn out of Winnebago in the near lane. Far side, coming off that Indy. Gwynn, look at this great onboard camera shot. I think I got him. I think I got him. I think he got me. How about that? Jim Head gets the win, and we would take a look at the starting line. Dave Brief on an interested spectator for the next run.
As Joe Amato gets set to race Corn McClendon in round 2, you can count on one interested observer up here at the starting line. Scary Selzy. You think he's a fan of Joe Amato? Well, just check out the shirt that's on his back.
Did not respond when he came back.
Hey, it's one size fits all. There's Mike Green, the crew chief for Corey Mack. You saw a quick shot at Jimmy Prock. They call this the Prock Rocket. Am I allowed to say that on TV? Amato needs to win to keep pace. He needs to win to keep pace. He didn't win. He didn't keep pace. Corey Mack at 473 gets the win. Joe Amato's out of here.
Corey Mack, that absolutely had to happen.
Yeah, I really did. And I've been staging first a lot, and I look up, and he's in there. I thought, oh, God. So I was a little bit off. I'm sure he got me in the starting line a little bit, but I got down there, I saw the front of that car. I thought, come on, please, top end. And it stuck. The guys did their job, and that's fantastic. We really needed that, though.
You're still not rid of Alan Johnson. You know that. He's with Head.
Yeah, we're not done yet either, though.
Way to go, Corey. Get tough. We'll watch this again from the far end. And then Steve had a chance to talk with Joe Amato, who obviously is not a happy person.
Does that end the championship chase for you?
Well, it doesn't, you know, let's just say it's going to be real hard now. You know, today would have been the place to make the round to pick up 80 points, but we'll give it our best shot, and we'll see what happens the rest of the year. But, you know, very disappointing amongst the hometown crowd.
Joe still winless here in 13 tries.
And just for the record, that was the 9th time this year that Joe Amato failed to get out of round number 2, and that's why he is probably not going to win the Winston Championship. Scott Collette has won the Winston Championship twice. Shelly Anderson on board. Mexico, Parts America, Haviland smoking them highs. And Scott Collette gets the win. And it's been a while since he's been in the winner's circle, but he's now in the semifinals. Not bad, Scotty.
Yeah, you know, we're just trying to go rounds and, you know, maybe make some of these guys a little nervous. We ain't got a chance at a championship or nothing, but we just want to have fun.
I think he got his haircut the same place my grandson did. Semifinals would be lining up in Top Fuel, Scott Collette and KB with Lee Beard. Believe it or not, Scotty leads the season series this year 2-1. And the other half, it's Jim Head and Corey Mack, and Corey's just been hurting everybody. He is up 3-1, and Jim Head will look to even the score in the semifinals. Steve Evans is down there in the pit area, and you know, it seems the more things change in Top Fuel, the more they stay the same. What do you say, Steve Evans?
How often we hear drag racers say, I take every race one round at a time. Doesn't matter who's in the other lane. Well, sometimes that's true, but often it's pure hyperbole. We all saw how tough Corey McClanathan took that loss to Jim Head in the final round of the U.S. Nationals 2 weeks ago. They meet again in just a few minutes. But not only does Corey want to win, but so does his crew chief, Mike Green, because Alan Johnson is the man turning the screws on that car, and they desperately want to show Alan that they're chasing him down no matter what he does the rest of this season.
A very determined look on the face of Mike Green. The Nitro Network, we got lots of nitro. We got plastic bodies around them. We got Force Etchels and the rest of the boys coming up in just a moment right here on TNN. TNN's exclusive live coverage of the 13th Annual Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals is brought to you by Mopar, Chrysler Corporation Parts, and the Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers who sell and install them. How the funny car's doing? Stick around, folks. You'll find out next.
Parts for Pro Stock and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar. Team Mopar. Parts for Top Fuel dragsters and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar.
Start your engine. Want to get close to the action? No, closer to the action. No, we mean really close to the action. Now's your chance to get up close and personal with live Winston Cup racing at the Duraloop 500, presented by Kmart. Just stop by any Kmart store and look for the Duraloop display and enter to win. And while you're at it, check out the great value on the Duraloop oil change kit on sale at all Kmart stores.
Recently, KFC introduced a revolutionary new sandwich, the Twister. It's like a meal all wrapped up and ready to go. No wonder the only thing more popular is the guy who makes them. Now get a Bacon Ranch Twister with wedges in this month's $2.99 to-go meal.
The AT&T one-rate plan has made long-distance prices simple. Whoa. Calls from home, a one-low rate to anybody in America anytime.
What about those 10321 ads that say I could save big over AT&T?
Most calls would cost less with AT&T one rate.
Cost less?
Right.
Oh, feels so huge.
Hey, don't beat yourself up.
What about the big savings with 10321?
Forget it if your calls aren't over 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
He's taking it really bad.
No restrictions, no games. The AT&T one-rate plan.
Before climbing into his current top fuel ride, Kenny Bernstein was the king of the fuel coupes. And during those years, he had some crazy Keystone occurrences. The first 2 years of this race found Kenny and the Bud Boys with consecutive runner-up results, as well as the excitement of a front row seat during the 86 semis for Brad Tuttle's on-the-spot conversion of his Nitro Bandit flopper into a roadster. Despite those thrills, the next year was even more memorable for the Bud King and his court. After rain washed out eliminations, Bernstein prepared for race day with a test and tune run that erupted into a blazing inferno. KB was unhurt, and the crew departed the racetrack with the remains of the burned-out Buick, only to appear 20 hours later with a rebuilt Razor that even managed to go a couple of rounds on race day. Quite a heroic effort by Armstrong and the team. 1 year later, Kenny went the distance, but it wasn't easy. John Martin should have won in round one after Bernstein broke, but the Jam Air Beretta then took out the timing cones and was disqualified. Dale Armstrong found the missing performance combination, and Kenny got a killer light in the final to knock off Ed the Ace McCullough on a hole shot. 1989 found Kenny planning his move to Top Fuel, possibly motivated by this close call in round one with Scott Coletta's wheel-standing Cutlass. All was forgiven for the near disaster, but 1 round later, Bruce Larson deflated Bernstein's hope for an outgoing Winston championship, and the Bud Buicks did a bittersweet bye-bye to the Grove. Kenny Bernstein will try to win here today with Lee Beard and without Dale Armstrong. Hey, if you missed our NHRA Today live show earlier today, it is on again 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That's after midnight. I know that because I'm a Bishop Eustace grad. And then coming up right after that, an hour later, you'll get a chance to see this entire show again. So for those of you that tuned in at 4:30, missed our first half hour, we'll repeat this tonight at 1:30 a.m. Get some of your friends over. Bet on the races. Remember, it's for amusement only. Great crowd on hand, as always, here at the Pioneer Electronics, Keystone Nationals, Maple Grove Raceway. We're getting set to narrow things down to championship rounds. Let's see how things went in round number 2 in the funny car competition. This would be a rematch of round number 2 at Indianapolis. It would be Whit Bazemore, who took out Tom Hoover in the opener. Cruz Pedregon got around Freddie Neely in the opener. Out at Indy, it was Whit Bazemore in round 2, and he went on to the win. Here it's Cruz Pedregon. Maybe he could go on to get the win. This team really needs one. 521 took out Whit's 555.
Well, Cruiser, you're not intentionally playing spoiler. You just want to win your first race of the year.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. That thing was spitting and popping, moving around, made all the noise in there, but I was on the throttle. I saw Bays' fender a little bit there, but we're just happy to get the win. It's our first semis in a long time, Steve, and I'll tell you, it feels good. Hey, Bazemore's been tough, but if we can spoil, we don't care. We just want to get to the final, hopefully, and win this thing.
We're happy for you.
Hey, when was the last time he went to the semis? He said it's been a long time. How about June at the Sears Craftsman Nationals out in St. Louis? That is a long time. Whit, well, there's next time.
You know, we're not going to give up until it's mathematically impossible to win the Winston Championship. But, you know, depending on what John does here this round, it doesn't look real good for Team Winston.
Probably a very honest evaluation of his situation. The Kendall GT1 Super Winch, Tim Richards tuned. Chuck Etchell's the wheelman. Randy Anderson, Parts America, Texaco Hamlin. Should be a pretty good old race. We're on board with Randy and our camera guy. Randy's all over the place. Hope our camera guy's okay. Etchell gets the win. He would go to his 4th semifinal in the last 8 races. 5:13 for the winner. Then it would be John Force, he would take on Jim Epler. Epler driving one of those Paul Smith cars, the Easy Care sponsored machine. Remember last year, a Paul Smith car. Jeff rented the wheel, took out Force. Well, there would be no deja vu. John Force, 507, 303, and you got to figure Whit knows that his days might be numbered. Yep, too bad, Whit. Get him in 2 weeks.
Whit loses, you win. Things are good. We can't get the money back from Indy that they got down there, and it was a big paycheck from Winston, but we can get back some of the points. So, hey, it's all kind of the draw. That lane was crucial to stay out of that deal, but this old Mustang here, she's doing good. Castro's happy, Syntec Power Systems, and my boys are pumped because they're starting to get their minds right that they know how to win. You just got to get more time in that computer, that's all.
I pity his next opponent.
I knew it was time in the computer, all that they needed. Dean Scoos of the Matco Tools machine has been wowing them here at Maple Grove with the long burnouts. The In-N-Out Burger team machine. Mark Oswald won this thing back in 86 and 87. Dean Scusa, good-looking pass. Oswald fires, falls back. Dean Scusa gets the win. He runs a 5:16. He would go to the next round. Oswald out of here.
Contrary to popular belief, Dean Scusa didn't come here just to do long burnouts. That's stout.
No, I mean, it's kind of embarrassing if you just go out there and do the burnout and you don't perform afterwards. It's kind of you need them both, actually.
And you're going to the semifinals. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. We're going to stay focused right now. I mean, we ran 16, I believe. Etchel's ran a 12 or...
He's got lane choice.
Yeah, it's going to be a good race. I mean, I wish I could keep that left lane, though. It's been beautiful to us.
He has actually been with them. He has actually been to 4 semis this year. In the next round, he would take on Chuck Etchels. Even up so far for the year. Etchels ran a 5:13, by the way, in the interest of fair reporting. He would still get the lane choice. And John Force and Cruz Pedregon. Not a better matchup in all of drag racing. 3-1. How about that? Cruz leads. Go figure. Not too many people can say they got a season advantage over Force. Hey, David, what's going on down where you are?
In a season that has seen Dean Scusa lose in the first round 9 times, he comes to the Pioneer Electronic Keystone Nationals and makes it to round 3 for the 3rd time. He credits a match race that he had back 2 weeks ago that has found a brand new clutch setup for the Matco Tools Dodge Avenger. I asked him about Chuck Etchels in round number 3. You're going to be in the right lane. What do? He said, you set the car up just like we did in the left lane and hope to God it'll go down. He gave me an analogy to golf. Just because everybody slices off the tee doesn't mean we're gonna.
Hey, maybe during the next break, somebody will explain that to me. Don't forget on Sundays on TNN, if you like racing, we got it for you. 30 minutes every week. Highlights from the national event, lots of sportsman racing, too. Driver profiles and more. NHRA Today, Sunday mornings at 11. And for those of you who race all day, another show at 10:30 p.m. It's all right here for you on TNN, your leader in motorsports. Now, if you listen closely, you'll hear the song played by one of the Miss America contestants last night in Atlantic City. She was not the winner. The winner graduated. Well, we went through that earlier.
In Denton, Texas, a lot of folks who work on their cars go to AutoZone because they know they're going to find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and good people like Tom Robinson. You see, Tom's the kind of guy who really likes to help folks out. And since he's been around cars most all his life, he knows his parts, too. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town. But when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Tom, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
When you buy a new Honda 4Trax 300, 300 4x4, or the rugged Foreman 400, you can see something you just won't see on any other ATV. Your choice of 7.9% APR financing and no down payment, or a pair of incredible German precision optic Steiner binoculars. Now you can see why Honda ATVs are the best on earth.
Dick, the creator of Miller Lite Advertising, has great news for all football fans. This year, Miller Lite is an official beer sponsor of the NFL. That means that this season will be better than last season. Remember when you were trying to watch a game, but there was that terrible glare? Well, that's not going to happen this year. Dick says, if you like that, you haven't seen anything yet. Stay tuned.
He doesn't really talk about his hair, but I know he thinks about it.
That's why he uses Pantene Pro V. The Pro Vitamin formula penetrates, improving hair, keeping it looking really healthy, shiny, strong. Pantene Pro V, for hair so healthy it shines.
Splitfire spark plugs are performance.
With Splitfire, it's money-back guaranteed performance. And guaranteed performance has made Splitfire a winner around the world. Now we're ready for you with the biggest savings ever. Hurry, this pricing ends soon.
In racing, the engine is everything.
What? It's the driver.
A driver will never see a finish line without a great engine.
The greatest engine will never see a victory lap without a great driver.
At least they agree on Haviland Formula 3 motor oil, the same oil you can buy right off the shelf. And also try Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze.
The engine's the first thing to the finish line.
Not in Indy cars.
Little bit of Did You Know in our never-ending battle to entertain and inform. Jim Yates became the 6th member of the Holly 6-second club at this event in 95. How quick did he run? Watch it. Could be a trick question. Yeah, 6 seconds. Right, way to go. Thanks for playing. We have some nice parting gifts for you. Hey, don't forget next Sunday, the Tight Points Battle in the Winston Cup Series makes an important stop at the Monster Mile, Dover Downs International Speedway. Tune in for the MBNA 400 next Sunday at noon Eastern, right here on TNN Motorsports. How many laps are they going to run in that? Watch it. Could be another one of those trick questions. Let's go back and take a look at Pro Stock. Round number 2 highlights here at the Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals. There's the Ray Bestis car in the far lane. Larry Morgan. It would be George Marnell on the near side of the racetrack. Morgan was virtually non-existent early in the season. He's come alive since debuting a brand new car at Heartland Park, Topeka during our first stop there earlier this year. He makes a great run as he gets the nod, and Larry Morgan 699, 196 advances to round 3.
Larry Morgan couldn't wait to see what he ran, so he drove it all the way to the time slip booth, and we had to chase him. Do you like what you see?
I pretty much like what I see, Steve, but you know, I haven't had much TV time, and I figured I'd make you guys work a little, so I just drove her right to the ticket booth.
We're happy to do it. Hope to do it one more round.
Hey, Larry, you want to get even less TV time? Keep making Steve Evans run. Here's the Slick 50 car. Bruce Allen, the rear and Morrison team. That's WJ in the far lane. The Goodwrench Service Plus machine. It has been a terrible last 4 races for WJ. They're basically dead even. Top end of the race course. Too much horsepower. WJ gets the win. 699 took out Bruce Allen 704, and WJ left first. That's right. I said first.
Well, Warren Johnson is never happy with any run. That's what makes him a champion, but a 698 is okay.
Well, we got out of the groove, got over to the left side of the track, got out of the groove, started bouncing around out in the middle of the course, and we lost probably 200-300s out there. We should have run about a 94, 95 on that run.
Will Kurt run better than a 98?
If he stays in the groove, he'll run probably about a 96.
Yeah, well, we'll see what kind of a guesser that is. It's the AC Delco car. Warren Johnson's son, Kurt. Currently number 3 in the points, Mike Bell. Troy Humphries Motorsports. Oh, baby. Bell smacked him out of the gate. KJ's got big problems. His biggest problem, Mike Bell, 701. Beat Kurt, 7 flat. You got it. Bell left first. I said first.
Your dad down here said Kurt should run about a 696, and that didn't happen.
No, she bobbled out there. The motor wanted to shut off a little bit. I don't know what that was all about. He knew Mike Bell was going to be tough. He's had some real bad luck this year. I ran him in Virginia and beat him there, and you know, he's found every way to lose, and you got to be happy for to carry your car. You know, Mike Bell's been doing a heck of a job, but just had a lot of bad luck.
It's nice of you.
Oh, he's such a warm and fuzzy kind of guy. Take a look at this again on replay. It wasn't a huge advantage. Well, I mean, 400ths of a second. I take that back. It was a huge advantage. Mike Bell in the near lane, who coming into this race had never won a round. Now he's gone to the semifinals because his 701 was enough to put him out in front by about that much. It would be Jim Yates and Mike Edwards. Yates has been undaunted. That's his wife, Tony. The McDonald's team machine. Still waiting to find out what the McDonald's gang will do next year. All Jim Yates wants to do this year is back up that Winston Championship. Edwards quick out of the gate. Not quick enough. Yates, 696, 196 miles an hour, and he was first off the line. I said, well, you know, Jim Yates goes into the semifinals. Only 3 times this year, Jim Yates has not made it to the semifinals. He is awesome. Yates and Larry Morgan They've only met one time this year because Larry was kind of a no-show for the first half of the season. And on the other side, hey, you pick on my kid, well, now you got to meet up with me. And they haven't met much because, hey, Bill hasn't done a whole lot. Meanwhile, we'd like to tell you a story about a guy that recently got married and already is having marital difficulties. Steve?
In the semifinals, it'll be WJ up against Mike Bell. And Warren Johnson has a newlywed crew chief, Greg Anderson. Between the Seattle and Brainerd race, he took the hand of the lovely Kim Humphrey. Humphrey, does that ring a bell? Wait a minute, her father, Troy Humphrey, owns the car driven by Mike.
Humphrey. Does that ring a bell, he said. How about a bell like Mike Bell? That's it. Troy Humphrey, and there's Kim. And she's married to the guy over in the WJ camp. Oh, baby. Somebody's going to sleep alone tonight. That'll be a great matchup when they come back. WJ and Bell, Yates and Larry Morgan to see who goes to the finals here at the 13th running of the Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals. Commercial transportation for this broadcast has been provided by Ryder, the official transportation company of Opryland. We'll take a look at those Pro Stock semis when we come back to Maple Grove.
For over 60 years, Mopar Parts Division of Chrysler Corporation has been building a name for itself. The only name guaranteed to perform in Chrysler Corporation vehicles. Dodge Plymouth Hemi-powered cars finish first, second, and third. On the track or on the street.
Big Daddy Don Government has broken the 270 miles.
Always insist on Mopar parts.
Alderman and Jeffrey on finish one.
Get real. Get Mopar.
There's a certain amount of pride that comes with doing it yourself, and Peerless makes it easy. So go ahead, let everyone know. I installed my own faucet this weekend. I installed a Peerless, the do-it-for-yourself faucet.
Love the hat. I need it. My hair's a disaster. Look at my dandruff. You just need the right shampoo.
With regular shampoo, flakes can keep coming back, but Head & Shoulders helps stop flakes before they even start, so your hair looks great. Change dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
Welcome back, everybody. We're starting to narrow everything down. We've shown you some highlights from the first and second rounds of the fuel categories. We're going to get a chance in a moment. Take a look at what's going on in the semifinals of Pro Stock. Huge crowd. I mean huge crowd here at Maple Grove Raceway. This live broadcast of the 13th annual Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals is being brought to you by Peerless Faucet, the do-it-for-yourself faucet. We're going to take a look at those Pro Stock semi-finals, find out if Warren Johnson could get off the schneid, put one in the win column, and close in on Jim Yates. Well, at least that's the game plan, but don't tell it to this guy, Mike Bell. That's the Troy Humphrey car. Carrier heating and air conditioning. A great runner. Actually teaches down there at that Roy Hill drag racing school. He would love to teach Warren Johnson a lesson right here. 3 races in a row. Warren's been punched out on a hole shot 7 times this year, including Indianapolis 2 weeks ago. Oh, baby, did Bell tattoo him out of the gate. Read it and weep, sports fan. Mike Bell, 7:02, gets the win. Warren Johnson, 6:96. A 4:09 reaction time for Bell. Mike Bell had never won a round. Now he would go to the finals to meet the winner of this one, Jim Yates in the McDonald's team car. What a wonderful year it's been for him. 7 times he's been the #1 qualifier and the quickest car in the ballpark. Larry Morgan here on the near side of the racetrack. 1 final. Heartland Park to peak earlier this year. Other than that, he hadn't been able to get out of the early rounds, but it's a new look, Larry Morgan, with the same old look on the track. How about Jim Yates? He gets the win, and Yates, 6:96. They're just rolling those 6:90s out there. 4:99 reaction time might not cut it against Mike Bell. Go to the pits and Steve Evans.
Well, no one is enjoying their Maple Grove weekend more than Jim Yates. He won this race last year, set a national record, went on to win the championship. He qualified #1 here Friday at 6:98. He has run 3, get this, consecutive 6.96 elapsed times. The fans are enjoying some autographs, and I'll tell you what, it's been quite a day.
It's been a great day for the McDonald's team. I tell you, we're really excited. We can't wait to get in the final.
How about Mike Bell, huh? He single-handedly took out the entire Johnson family.
He's going to be a handful in the final. He's really pumped up today. He's had some excellent lights, and they're running really good over there. They got a lot of horsepower out of that Dick Maskin camp, and we're going to try and give them a good run in the final. I think we got a little left in this thing. I think hopefully we can run about a 694 in the final, and that's what it's going to take to beat him.
And you can bet this will be a bit of a grudge match. Dick Maskin, his former crew chief, is now the crew chief on that Mike Bell car. Dave Reef?
You talk about carrying the weight, Steve. Mike Bell's been doing it all day, answering the bell. How about this for a reaction time against Warren Johnson? 4:09. It's the second time he's won on a hole shot here today. What a great race. Your 7:02 beats his 96.
Oh, it's a real tough race. I tell you, I have a lot of respect for all these guys over here. They're the best racers in the world, and I'm just happy to be over here. And we were giving up a little bit in performance. We lost lane choice after first round and have to make it up somewhere, and luckily we've been on the tree.
The performance has been going down. You ran a 6:99 in round number 1. It has fallen to a 7:02. What are you going to do in the final here?
The biggest thing is just trying to adapt to the slick track situation. The starting line's still pretty good, but it's loose in the middle of the track, and we're trying to adapt to it right now.
Well, he's hopefully going to tattoo one more light. Hey, remember Warren Johnson's old Jerry Haas car? Well, this is it. Mike Bell's got it. I bet Warren wouldn't mind having that one back, Bob.
Go get him, Mike.
It's going to be a good matchup here in the finals, and Mike Bell and Jim Yates. Mike talked about it being a little slick. He's been on his roof once already this season. Doesn't want to do it again, obviously, and he would love to take out Jim Yates, win his first ever. We've had a lot of first-time winners here in the past at the Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals. Bet you didn't know that. You probably didn't know this either. We got more great action coming up from Maple Grove. We'll take a look at the funny car semis when we come back. How about Bob Glidden? Hope he's sitting out there somewhere. Congrats for all the accolades he got at Indianapolis this year.
Good enough to go on our hood, imagine what it can do under yours. Big A, America's Parts Pros.
Sail with the Winston Cup Stars December 8th through 12th on the NASCAR Family Cruise. Enjoy NASCAR festivities, parties, and activities, plus stops in Key West and Cozumel. Call now for 5 days and 4 nights on the NCL cruise ship Leeward, leaving Miami December 8th.
In drag racing, somebody's got to win, and somebody's got to lose. There's nothing I like better than beating my brother, unless it's beating my boss.
I've hired my own assassin.
And you thought they only race for the money.
CMT. WBC heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis at 6'5", 250 pounds. He has nothing to fear except he's been called the strongest, the toughest, the dirtiest. On October 4th, Admiral Galata may be called heavyweight champion of the world. Caesars Atlantic City presents Lewis versus Galata.
Napa carries more parts than anyone in the country. And during a big sale, I feel like I carry each one myself.
It's the Napa Las Vegas Sweepstakes. Napa wants to say thanks for your business by sending you on a 4-day, 3-night trip to Las Vegas where there's fun for the whole family. Theme parks, casinos, and top-name entertainment. Just visit any participating Napa Auto Parts store and enter to win. No purchase necessary.
We keep America running.
Little bit of did you know. John Force right here, 1993, clinched the Winston Funny Car title. How about this? You know who the other pro champions were that year? Warren Johnson won it in pro stock, and Eddie Hill won in top fuel. It's a gorgeous racetrack here at Maple Grove, 13th annual Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals. Let's bring you up to date in the funny cars. Let's look back to the semifinals and see who gets to go into the big show. There's Dad Dean, the Matco Tools machine. Dad Don, Dean's the driver. Get it straight, Brian. And the Super Winch machine, Chuck Etchell. He has just been wonderful. When he gets on these rolls, he is almost unbeatable. Scusa, looking to go to the finals. He's been to 4 semis this year. Gave him a shot out of the gate, then it is Smoke City. Chuck Etchell's to the finals for the 4th time. He is 1 for 2 in championship rounds. 5:13, 298. The car's been running very well here this weekend. Let's find out who he's going to match up with. There's Dave Settle. Crew chief on Cruz Pedregon's entry. John Force, for the 12th time this year, has made it as far as the semifinals. Cruz Pedregon, believe it or not, with 9 winners in the funny car category this year, he is not, I repeat, he is not one of them. He would not be one of them right here because John Force goes 5-0-8. Cruz smokes the tires. He is out of here, and John Force would meet up with Chuck Etchels in the championship round. Let's go down to the pit area and join Dave Reed.
Well, believe it or not, John Force still has a few fans here trying to get his autograph. I'll tell you, it's busier than a mall on Thanksgiving here. John, just when Witt gets close, you snatch a rug right out from under him. You guys have had a real good weekend.
Well, we've just really struggled with this new combination, and I told the sponsors we had a meeting that, you know, a lot of people thought it was the Ford. The Fords run great, the Mustang body. We've just really been off with it. You need computer time to learn about it, and we're learning. We're still on the edge with it. When to smoke the tires, when it runs good.
Best part about this, going into the final, you got lane choice, and I think that's very, very important here today.
Well, it is. It's critical, but Etchels in the Kendall car, he'll run good. The Castle Mustang, it'll run good. But what's really great is the fans are getting a great race. We lost a lot of money at Indy, but we gathered those points back today that we lost to Bazemore, and we're just going to keep shooting toward the title, but it's a long ways off.
You guys don't think John Force can win, do you? Well, Steve, I think they think Chuck Etchels is in for a long night.
You know, John keeps talking about computer time. You're looking at Tim Richards, his wife, Kim, preparing the Chuck Etchels power plant, and they are doing it without a computer. It has not functioned all day long. They've had no input whatsoever. But Tim Richards, he's from the old school, and he can do it reading the bearings and the spark plugs and the top of the pistons, Chuck.
Well, yeah, that's gotten us by all day today. But, I mean, I know we're concerned about the final because we feel we have to get a little more aggressive to beat John. And, you know, without the computer data, where do you go? You know, you're kind of guessing a little bit.
Well, 2 years ago, the two of you met on a tire-smoking final, and you outdrove John.
Well, you know, that could happen again, too. You know, I'm sure that the Force camp understands this car can run 498, and so they can't take it lightly, and they're going to have to get after it, too.
Not having lane choice, how big is that?
Well, if you look at it all day today, it's been a pretty big deal, but, you know, I think Bernstein just won from that lane.
Yep.
So, you know, we're optimistic about it. I talked to Ronnie Swearinger before we made that run against Scusa, and he didn't think it really mattered, so we'll see.
Good luck to you.
Thanks, Steve.
Should be a great funny car final, Bob Fry.
Way to go, Chuck. Why don't you tell him who's in the finals in all the classes? Etchels and Force in the finals, and how about this? Chuck Etchels leads the season series 2-1. That final a couple of years ago, by the way, a 6-12 beat a 6-35. What are the odds we might see that again coming up here in the finals? Well, we're going to check out some more action from Maple Grove and the Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals. There's the far pit area. Nah, not really. But come back with us. We got more from Maple Grove on TNN.
Today I set out to fix my car.
Thanks, neighbor.
Whatever. I had to stop at 4 different places.
Push. Push.
Good thing I live in a friendly town.
Push.
One of us pushes, the other one pops the clutch.
Come on, push, push. I am pushing.
Finally, I went to Pep Boys.
Hey, everybody, I fixed it.
I love this town.
Car or truck, Pep Boys has your starter or alternator. 26,000 items at the guaranteed low price, tires and service too. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
Never out.
The lemurs of Madagascar. Flying through the jungle from tree limb to tree lemb, these curious simians can leap up to 30 feet in a single bound. Reminds me of Motel 6. We're improving by leaps and bounds by renovating all our places nationwide. But even with all these nice new extras, we're not about to monkey around with your wallet, because the price is still the best of any national chain. The new Motel 6, it's a real eye-opener.
Hey, is that what I think it is? Yeah, it's my new Wagner Power Painter. Well, can you edge with it? Yeah,
you can edge like this or adjust it to control the paint up close. And when I'm done, I'm going to switch nozzles and stain my deck. Do a lot of other jobs I've been meaning to do.
Well, does it clean up easy?
Yeah, it's quicker than you think.
Why am I painting this by hand?
Good question. Get a Wagner.
Top Fuel Eliminator. Will the ride only last 4.5 seconds? But when you're mixing nitromethane, speeds approaching 320 miles per hour, it is rocket science.
Rocket Science, another elective at Bishop Eustace Prep, home of Miss America and me. 13th Annual Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals, Reading, Pennsylvania. Got to be a Eustace grad out there somewhere. We're going to take a look at semifinals and Top Fuel Eliminator, find out who goes in to run for the big bucks and a piece of that $1.5 million that we told you about at the top of the show. Jim Head, that says Trett's Speed and Custom on the side, a close friend of the late Elmer Trett. The Close Call Communications entry whooped them all out at Indianapolis. Coming right here, he had never won 7 rounds in a row in his life. Coming off 4 straight at Indy, 2 straight here, going for number 7. All he's got to do is take out the big red car in the far lane. Not going to happen. Corey Mack, 486. Jim Head skies to a 505, and that's not good enough. The McDonald's car going to the championship round. Would they meet up with Kenny Bernstein or Scott Coletta? Scott, who has been low ET, top speed, #1 qualifier or winner at this race for each of the last 4 years. He is tough here at the Grove. Kenny Bernstein with Lee Beard now calling the shot. And you watch Kenny Bernstein. You can full blanket over the 2 of them, but Big Red gets up in time, gets the win at 475, 300 miles an hour. It's Bernstein. It's Corey Mack in the finals. Steve Evans?
We're watching Kenny Bernstein mix the fuel, and interestingly enough, just before you came live to me, he was pumping fuel out so that he could add more nitro. Pumping it up, KB?
Well, I just had the mixture a little bit too low. We wanted to give it a little bit more. I kind of missed it there.
You know, this was really kind of a marginal car the first 2 rounds, and then, pow, 475 against Scott Coletta.
Well, I just think we're finally kind of getting a handle on it. And let me make it clear, this is a Dale Armstrong program here from when he was with us. Lee Beard came in, but Ray Alley is running the show, and Beard's kind of overseeing. They're working together, but it isn't a major change all of a sudden. This is what was left over from Dale.
Tell us about the final round. You do have lane choice, don't you?
We do have lane choice, and of course, I think that's a help in this game. You never know what's going to happen up there. Tough game. That McDonald's team, I mean, just think about how good they've run for so long now. 5 or 6 races, winning 4 in a row. We've got our work cut out for us. The Bud King Pro Long car is going to have to go hard.
It's been an emotional weekend for Kenny Bernstein, but he's looking for a big payoff. Dave Reef?
I'm in Corey McLenithan's pit where routine maintenance is taking place. How routine? Well, this is the 6th consecutive final Corey McLenithan finds himself in here. Gas man adding a little fuel right now. Corey, you were vulnerable against Jim Head in that semifinal.
Yeah, well, I mean, drag racing, you need to have a little bit of luck, and I guess we had God and a little bit of luck on our side. They got down there and threw the belt off. Maybe it was spin the tire, maybe it was a little bit lean down there, but it threw the belt off just as well, and I had to pedal it. Went out there and tried to smoke the tires, but I mean, drag race and luck plays a big part. The guy's done a great job today. Mike Green's tuning the heck out of this McDonald's car.
You did lose lane choice, though. How concerned are you and Mike Green about that?
We were more concerned about the lanes earlier in the day and not as much now, and we're going to try to go out there and run about a high 60.
We just saw Corey McLenithan go down it, so these guys are not too worried at all. Let's go all the way back to Vandermeer Speedway in the Mopar Mile High Nationals. 22-1 round wins. Corey McLenithan going after his 5th win of 1997. He's chasing down Gary Selzy.
Oh, well, thanks for pointing that out, because I'm going to get a chance to talk with Gary Selzy here in just a minute. Bernstein and McLenithan. Corey Mack one up on the King here in the 1997 racing season. Corey Mack said you had God and luck on his side. Let me tell you something, folks. If you get your choice, take God all the time, I'm telling you. Gary, yeah, he really is. The luck was not on your side, not only the way your car ran, but a terrible way they qualified with you and Joe Amato meeting up in that opening round.
Well, you know, Team Winston, we've been struggling a little bit here lately, and we haven't had the luck like Corey had mentioned earlier. And, you know, the car ran extremely well in qualifying. We qualified number 3. We thought things were going to go our way. It was tough to run into Joe, and one of those things.
You had a Joe Amato T-shirt on earlier coming in for this final. Whose shirt you going to wear there?
Well, you know, I didn't want to jinx anybody because obviously that didn't work. But, you know, it's all in good fun, and Corey's a good friend of mine, too, so it wasn't really a dig. It was just a fun thing.
You guys have led the points the entire season except coming out of Houston when you were 2 points down to Joe Amato. Is the pressure starting to get on you a bit, maybe?
You know, the pressure is really on right now, but... you know, things are either going to go your way or they're not. And Bob, we're having the time of our life over there. I'm having a great time with the Johnsons, and Winston has been a great sponsor for us. And, hey, I can't really complain.
Corey Mack said they're going to tune that thing up for a 460 in the final round. I mean, it's getting a little sunnier out there and everything. I don't think this track's going to hold a 460 in the finals.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Kenny because I think lanes play a big part in it. And I think that Lee Beard and, you know, using Dale's combination, I think they're going to be tough.
How's the baby doing?
Oh, he's wonderful. Dominic, how you doing, buddy? I'll be home tomorrow.
In the overall realm of life, smoking the tires sometimes ain't so bad, is it?
No, I'm having a great time.
Gary Selzy, driver of Team Winston. They're still in the points lead, and he'll be rooting for somebody. There's the folks skydiving over here. That's Mark Slater out of Indiana, and just a nice part of all the NHRA Winston Championship drag races. We got more coming up live from the Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals. Don't go away.
Recently, KFC introduced a revolutionary new sandwich, the Twister. It's like a meal all wrapped up and ready to go. No wonder the only thing more popular is the guy who makes them. Now get a Bacon Ranch Twister with wedges in this month's $2.99 to-go meal.
Let us lift our eyes toward the challenges that await us in the next century.
They shape what we say and what we feel. They teach and inspire us. They rise to power and fall from grace. They are who we see when we look in the mirror. Our idols. Our teams. And now they've got their own network. CBS Eye on People. Available on cable and satellite.
Nothing's tougher on a motor oil than drag racing. The extreme stress and searing heat generated by their hard driving can break down an oil in no time. That's why John Force uses Castrol, the only leading 10W30 that provides maximum protection against both viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because some people have more important things to worry about. Castrol GTX. Drive hard. And for your toughest cleaning tasks, try any Castrol Super Clean product.
First, it won a U.S. patent. Then the incredible Splitfire swiftly ignited the passions of drivers around the world. Now you can get guaranteed Splitfire performance for just $3.99. Hurry, it's the biggest savings ever.
To understand our dedication to keeping your car running its best, visit your team of pros at Big A Auto Parts. They'll have you back on the road in no time. Big A, America's Parts Pros.
September 28th on TNN Motorsports. When the lights go green, every part has to be right. Every driver has to be sharp. Cause at this race,
if you're not quick enough, you're out of here.
I heard that.
From the track known for record speeds, Hartman Park, Topeka, it's the Sears Craftsman Nationals. Live Sunday, September 28th at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. And it's all on
the leader in motorsports coverage, TNN Motorsports.
Welcome back, and we are live on TNN here at the Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals, 13th running of that race that has given us so many great moments over the years. And we're going to get a little extra treat. As we mentioned, we were on the air 30 minutes early. Jeff Gordon kind of whooped the field up there in Loudon, so we got a chance to come on early. And we're going to get a chance to talk about a little bit of the Federal Mogul alcohol classes, dragsters and funny cars. And my guest, Gary, you kind of cut your teeth in those alcohol cars.
Yeah, I did. I drove them for about 10 years, and both alcohol funny car and alcohol dragster, and they're a handful.
Not too many guys have driven both of them. Tell us about some of your early recollections. Mid-'80s, you were doing well.
Well, I had my own car back in 1985 and 86, and luckily I finished runner-up in the Winston Points Championship, and but couldn't afford it. So fortunately, I got seen enough and got to be able to drive other people's cars and went from dragster to funny car and kind of flopped around a little bit.
We'll take a look at those alcohol finals out of the Federal Mogul category. It'll be Frank Manzo and Todd Payton in the funny car category. Jay Payne goes off against Ned Ott. Everybody that's heard of Ned Ott, stand up and raise your hand. Whoa, man, that was a surprise. Nope, nobody over there.
0 to 475 degrees above. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. New Mobil 1 0W30. Superior protection when you start your car.
Team Mopar. Parts for Pro Stock and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar. Team Mopar. Parts for top fuel dragsters and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar.
This live coverage of the Pioneer Electronics Keystone Nationals is brought to you by Mopar, Chrysler Corporation Parts, and the Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers who sell and install them. Bob Fry along with Steve Evans, Dave Reef, and in the booth with me, Gary Selzy, as we're getting set to look at our first finals. They will be in the Federal Mogul categories in both dragsters and funny cars. Steve Evans is wandering aimlessly out there in the pit area. Steve, what kind of action you have for us as we get set for the finals?
In that we have the time, we have wandered down to the far end so that we can interview the winners of the Federal Mogul Finals. And, Bob, if I look at the points right, if Frank Manzo can win here in the Federal Mogul Alcohol Funny Car thing, he will virtually eliminate Tony Bartone from another championship. If he wins here, then he's alive and could take it all in the Federal Mogul ranks. Is that what you get?
That's what I get, Steve. I added up down here exactly the same. If Frank Manzo wins this thing, he controls his own destiny. That's why Mr. Payton is on the wrong side. If he wins, it will be his second NHRA national event win in the Federal Mogul Dragsters. But I don't think it's going to happen today. Manzo's got some destiny on his side. Bob?
Oh, there's that destiny. There's that luck stuff and everything. There's all the people out there that think that Jay Payne can win. Frank Manzo coming in. And this will be a very interesting matchup. Manzo getting set to go against Todd Payton, your last two U.S. Nationals champions. And Gary Selzy is with me here in the booth. And Frank Manzo has just been dynamite this season. Started out like he was going to run away and hide from the field. A couple of wins, very first two races of the year.
You know, Frank's been at it a long time, and he's a Winston champion twice, I believe, and now possibly going to be the Federal Mogul champion. He's a good friend of mine. I've stayed in touch with him even as I've went to the top fuel category, and a great driver.
Now, he's been racing for a while. He won the championship in 1981. Have you ever raced against him?
You know, I don't believe Frank and I ever really got to meet, but we've been at the same racetrack, but we never got to meet in elimination.
Well, gee, that counts for a lot. We're at the same track, so we're about 75,000 folks here this weekend, you know. Frank Manzo said in the beginning of the year that he was determined to go out and take this Kendall car to the championship. Tony Bartone has been mathematically eliminated by the fact that Frank Manzo went into the championship. Todd Payton won Indy last year, the first Canadian to win Indy in that Federal Mogul category, and has come out this season, but he had a very devastating accident. I mean, just blew the thing up and hit the wall earlier, and it's kind of tough to recover from something like that.
You know, it is, and Todd's been around a little bit, didn't race a lot of the NHRA circuit, but he's an excellent driver, and he's got a good running car, but I've got to go with Manzo, being my friend and being an excellent driver, and he's kind of on a roll this weekend.
Todd Payton's got the folks from Optima Batteries that are sponsoring. He is a very good driver. His dad, Barry, they are both accomplished pilots out there. Should be an interesting matchup. Very few people run their cars in this category as hard as Frank Manzo does. When he brings that thing in, gets the RPMs up on the starting line, I mean, it's like you better stand back.
You know, he and Bob Newberry, when they rev him up, you better stand back is right and put a helmet on, too, sometimes.
Frank Manzo loves running here at this racetrack. That's John Glade, who works for Frank in the business, the construction business over in New Jersey, and has been his longtime crew chief. And John Glade is one of the real under-publicized and I think under-recognized crew chiefs in this class.
Yeah, John's been around a long time, and he's a real quiet guy. He doesn't say much. You know, Frank does a lot of the talking over there, so it's going to be interesting.
It's kind of like you in your pit area, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They're going to roll them into the water. Finals for the Federal Mogul Funny Cars. Great run out of the water area. The Kendall car will be on the near side. Could be a big day for the Kendall folks. Chuck Etchel's in the fuel category and Frank Manzo here. They wouldn't mind doubling up.
No, they've got a heck of a team with the funny cars, don't they?
This is the category that's given us some real stunning surprises. In years gone by, a guy named Charlie Bauer won the class back here in 1985. Bunny Burkett beat Peter Gallen here in 1986. John Spielman over Dale Hall with a small block Chevrolet. But right now, these are probably two of the best at the game of Federal Mogul Funny Car Racing. Neither team lacking for anything.
No, they both got the best equipment. They both got great sponsors. And did you notice how fast Frank was backing up? He is wound up.
He basically demolished the car every round out at Phoenix earlier this season. In fact, after the semis, he told John Glade that I'm through. I want to sit back, and I don't want to put this thing back together. And John came over and just kind of like slapped him around a little bit and said, we're going to do it. They got a lot of help. He's very well liked in the category and stuff. Came back and won that race, and he could be on his way to his 3rd championship.
When he gets mad, he gets determined. And, you know, I think Frank quits about every month.
Todd Payton, that's his brother. His dad also working on the team. The Kendall GT1 Super Winch Mopar Performance Machine from New Jersey. Frank Manzo, finals, Federal Mogul Funny Car on the line.